Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Cycle on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Jumai Manson. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. Now the news in full. The former national chairman of the All Progressive Congress, APC, Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, has congratulated Governor Monday Okpebholo of Edo State on his victory at the Supreme Court, which affirmed his election as a duly elected governor of the state. In a statement signed by his chief press secretary, Edwin Olofun, Dr. Ganduje described the verdict as a landmark judgment and reaffirmation of the will of good people of Edo State. The former chairman of the ruling APC stated that the verdict has once again demonstrated that the judiciary remains the last hope of the common man and a critical pillar in the defense of democracy. He urged Governor Okpebholo to see the victory as a renewed opportunity to unite the people of Edo State, irrespective of political differences, and continue to deliver the dividend of democracy to all. Senate has appealed to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to approve 200 million naira as compensation for the family of a 2-year-old Ivan Omohira who was killed by operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency (NDLEA) during the raid in Asaba, Delta State. Topsy Gimba covers the plenary now and completes the story. We apologize that report will be brought in our subsequent bulletin. The House Representatives Subcommittee on the Protection of Critical National Assets has dismissed corruption allegations against the Nigerian Electricity Liability Management Company made by the Association for Public Policy Analysts. The Association for Public Policy Analysts, through its president, Prince Will Okerie, had accused the Nigerian Electricity Liability Management Company of financial mismanagement and questioned its continued existence 12 years after the privatization of Power Holding Company of Nigeria, PHCN. Anete Patrick has more.
In a similar sitting, sometime last 2 weeks, Engineer Bayo Ojulari was said to have allegedly avoided the committee, which consequently prompted them to resolve that he must appear before the committee today. Following his perceived usual character before the committee, the Group Chief Executive Officer, Bayo Ojulari, again refused to appear before it, but rather sent the Chief Financial Officer of NNPCL, Dapo Shegun, to represent him. Explaining to the committee why the GCEO did not make it himself, Dapo Shegun said his boss was out of the country for the OPEC meeting. Miffed by the consistent refusal to appear before the committee, he therefore insisted that the GCEO must appear before the committee or risk arrest. Senator Ali Wadada seized the opportunity of the meeting and told the media that the committee is aware of the media campaign carried out by the NNPCL against the committee, where it is accusing the committee of spreading false information that the company has stolen over 210 trillion naira. But Senator Wadada said that the committee never at the time said that the company stole such an amount of money, but rather was investigating an audit financial report of the company from 2017 to 2002.
So as far as we're concerned, that does not stand as a liability figure. And then the asset figure as well. You just gave us vague information based on what is reflected in your audited financial statement.
The chairman of the committee, Senator Ali Wadada, therefore dismissed the sitting and pledged that an official date shall be communicated to the NNPCL for the GCEO to appear. Topsy Gimba, reporting for Global Television News.
In another development, the lawmaker representing the Egema Boni Federal Constituency in House of Representatives, Cyril Hart, has formally requested the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to create 2 additional state constituencies in Rivers State. In a letter received by INEC, Hart called for the establishment of the Egema State Constituency 2 and Boni State Constituency 2, citing constitutional provisions as the basics for his demand. Referring to Section 114 of the 1999 Constitution, Hart reminded the Commission of its obligation to periodically review state constituencies every 10 years. Former governor of Benue State and member of the People's Democratic Party Board of Trustees, Samuel Ortom, has reaffirmed his strong support for emergence of Southern President in 2027. Ortom, while commending President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, acknowledged that the president is steering the country in the right direction. He emphasized the need for board reforms to rebrand and reposition Nigeria. Over now to Felicity in Dere for more report.
Former Governor Samuel Ortom has made his stance on the 2027 presidential election unmistakably clear. The presidency, he insists, must return to the south.
So there is no way you will be in PDP and be in another party and you'll be left. All those people, we have directed them to expel all of them.
During an interactive section with journalists in Makurdi, his first public engagement since leaving office 2 years ago, Ortom stated that he would not support any candidate from the north in the next election cycle.
Even if my party wants to produce a president, let them produce it in the south. Because anything in the north, Samuel Ortom is not there. I did it in 2023. Because I said that it's better for me to lose my senatorial election than to allow a northerner to be president. It was wrong. We must work together in unity, in diversity.
The PDP chieftain clarified that the party is not considering any coalition but remains open to strategic partnerships that could offer real solutions to the nation's pressing challenges. Speaking on security matters, Ortom defended his administration's anti-open grazing law, describing it as a people-focused policy that helped reduce insecurity in the state.
We say that the way forward is to look at the global best practice. What is the global best practice when it comes to animal husbandry? It is ranching. In Brazil, you have over 290 million heads of cattle. What do they do to maintain peace in their environment and also do farming? They ranch.
Ortom's call for legislation allowing communities to bear automatic weapons for self-defense amid ongoing herdsmen attacks is expected to spark reactions as political alignment and zoning debate intensify ahead of the 2027 elections. In Makurdi, Felicity Ndere reporting for Global TV News.
The Nigerian Meteorological Agency, NIMET, has forecast thunderstorms and heavy rainfall across parts of the country from Friday to Sunday, urging citizens to take precaution. The agency's weather outlook indicates that several northern and southern states will experience light to moderate rains in the morning, followed by thunderstorms and heavier downpours later in the day. NIMET also warned that the strong winds may precede the rainfall in certain areas and asked the public to be extra cautious, especially in vulnerable communities. You are watching the live broadcast of News Cycle. When News Cycle returns, United States-China top diplomats meet in Malaysia. Details coming shortly, plus business and sports stories on the other side of this break. Please stay with us. You're welcome back, and if you're just tuning in, this is News Cycle on Global Television. Thank you for staying with us. In Business Town, the president of Dangote Group, Aliko Dangote, has doubted the possibility of state-owned Port Harcourt, Warri and Kaduna refineries functioning again. Dangote stated this while hosting members of Global CEO Africa from the Lagos Business School after a tour of the Dangote Petroleum Refinery in Lekki, Lagos. Dangote also stated that the refineries, which are under the management of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, had gulped up to $18 billion yet have refused to work. Meanwhile, the group chief executive officer of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPC, Bayo Ojulari says the company is considering selling some of its refineries as it grapples with challenges in their rehabilitation. Speaking in an interview with Bloomberg at the 9th OPEC International Seminar in Vienna, Austria, Ojulari said a strategic review of the company's refinery operations is underway and expected to be conducted before the end of the year. Ojulari attributed some of the setbacks to outdated infrastructure and underperforming technologies. Vice President Kashim Shettima has called for the urgent and coordinated effort to bridge Nigeria's skill gap, describing workforce development as a national priority. At the 6th National Council on Skills meeting held at the Presidential Villa, Shettima said a proposed audit of skills training centers on the various ministries, departments and agencies will create a centralized infrastructure database and expose gaps of duplications in services. The government strategy aims to align technical education and vocational training with national development plans and the demands of a rapidly evolving economy. On the foreign scene, the Executive Director of the Joint National United Nations Program on HIV and AIDS, Winnie Bayanyima, has called on world government to step up efforts aimed at driving prevention of AIDS and related illnesses. Speaking at an event in Johannesburg to mark the launch of the United Nations Agency's annual Global AIDS Report, which highlights the impact of major cuts to foreign aid, especially by the United States, Bayanyima noted that this development has triggered a funding crisis that could reverse decades of hard-fought gains in the fight against AIDS. Over now to Mukhtar Kasim has the rest of the story.
Bayanyima challenged governments across the world to ramp up efforts that focus on AIDS prevention beyond treatment and support for groups that have been adversely impacted by the scourge.
The message we have to governments is step up on prevention. Don't drop it. Don't focus just on treatment. Support social contracting of communities, of youth groups, of community groups to continue serving their people with prevention programs.
Winnie Bayanyima, United Nations Under Secretary General. Bayanyima, who doubles as the Under-Secretary General of the United Nations, warned that the halt to United States foreign aid is a ticking time bomb that has left a significant gap in AIDS-focused funding.
Now with this cut, taking away money suddenly, first of all, it raises the question of the quality of the relationship. You don't just walk away. You plan gradual transitions. Just the fact that a donor can walk away, one member can walk away with no notice, tells you that something was wrong in the relationship.
Winnie Bayanyima, United Nations Under Secretary General. The UN Aid Agency said in a new report around 31.6 million people were on antiretroviral drugs in 2024, and deaths from AIDS-related illnesses had more than halved since 2010 to 630,000 that year. The Joint United Nations Program on HIV and AIDS in April warned that a permanent discontinuance of United States President's emergency plan for AIDS relief, the massive efforts to fight HIV and AIDS, would lead to more than 6 million new infections and an additional 4.2 million AIDS-related deaths in the next 4 years. Mukhtar Kasim, reporting for Global TV News.
On the foreign scene now, the United States Mission in Nigeria has said the recent reduction in visa validity for most Nigerian non-relaxed travelers is part of global security and technical review, not a political decision. Addressing widespread speculations, the mission explained in a statement on Facebook that the move is not linked to Nigeria's affiliations with BRICS, its position on third country deportees, or the introduction of e-visa policies. The United States noted that the shortened validity period stems from an ongoing global review of the use of U.S. visas by other countries using technical and security benchmarks to safeguard United States immigration systems. The government of Ghana has criticized the United States for slamming the validity of B1, B2 visas for Ghanaian nationals from 5 years multiple entry to 3 months a single entry, calling the decision disruptive to long-standing bilateral agreement. In a press release, Ghana Ministry of Foreign Affairs described the new policy as a substantial variance from existing reciprocal visa terms. While recognizing the United States government's sovereign right to determine visa policy, Ghana noted the limitations imposed differ significantly from past agreements. It says it was studying the situation closely but remains committed to resolving the matter diplomatically. In sports now, Warri Wolves wicket terrors Kun Khalifa and Barrow FC has secured promotion to Nigerian Premier Football League. Weki crushed Yobe Desert Stars 4-0 to top Group A, while Barrow FC and Wolves also clinched top spots in Asaba. The four teams will replace Heartland Aqua United, Sunshine Stars and Lobby Stars in the upcoming NPFL season. Nigeria's women's cricket team has opened camp in Benin City ahead of the International Cricket Championship Women's T20 World Cup Africa qualifiers in Namibia. 22 players are in training for the Division 1 tournament, which starts August 28th. Meanwhile, the men's team is also preparing in Lagos for their qualifiers in Zimbabwe this September. Chelsea winger Noni Madueke is set to join Arsenal after both clubs agreed to a transfer fee exceeding £15 million. According to transfer experts Fozio Romano, the England international has agreed personal terms and is scheduled for medicals. The move continues Arsenal's summer recruitment push despite finding backlash on social media. And that's it on Global TV News Cycle. A quick reminder that Global TV is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms now showing on your screen by using @Global TV NG. I am Jumai Manson. Thank you for watching. Good evening.